Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today, at the request of Patreon subscriber Rob, I am playing some Unpowered Vintage, and this is 8 Mulch. With Eternal Weekend coming up, I've had a lot of people asking me, is there a deck I can play if I don't own Power? Is it worth even registering for the tournament, playing an Unpowered deck? Are they even competitive at all? My answer to that has been, of course, decks with Power in them are going to be more powerful than decks without Power in them. That's kind of the whole point of Power in the Vintage format. However, I know folks will show up to play without owning Power 9. And exploring your options to do that is a worthwhile endeavor. And here we have 8 Mulch, which, although it is unpowered, there are still 2 copies of the Tabernacle of Tendril Veil in this 75, so you're still on the hook for not a cheap deck. But if you look at a lot of the control decks in the format, the Xerox decks, they're playing Ancestral Recall, Time Walk, at least they're on color, Moxen, Black Lotus, and 2 Tabernacles. So all of this is relative, calling a deck budget or whatever. Budget aside, this deck absolutely does not have Power in it. And this is a port from Legacy. This is a deck that had a hot moment a couple of years ago, kind of fell off. But the goal is to stick one of these enchantments that crap all your lands into play. Fast Bond, this card is not legal in Legacy, but you get 4 of them in Vintage. Kind of recently unrestricted. You could only play 1 for a long time, but within the last couple of years, you've been allowed to play 4. You may play any number of lands on your turn. Whenever you play a land, if it wasn't the first land you played this turn, Fast Bond deals 1 damage to you. And then Mana Bond. At the beginning of your end step, you may reveal your hand and put all lands onto the battlefield. If you do, discard your hand. Fast Bond hurts you for playing extra lands, but it lets you keep your spells. Mana Bond doesn't hurt, but you're all in on the lands you got. And then the goal from there, Mulch, the name of the deck. Reveal the top 4 cards of your library, put all lands revealed this way into your hand, the rest into your graveyard. Winding Way. Choose creature or land, reveal the top 4 cards of your library, put all the chosen type revealed into your hand, and the rest into your graveyard. You're just always choosing land for this, so this is functionally more copies of Mulch. And Crop Rotation. This is a tutor. Gets you exactly what you want. And Life from the Loam. If you're getting multiple reloads per turn with Life from the Loam, and then dumping out all those lands, becomes pretty easy to Wasteland and Strip Mine lock somebody. Thespian Stage Dark Depths makes Marit Lage. That's a 20/20. That can happen on turn 1 pretty reliably in this deck. You can be looping your Besajus that are meaningful disruption in this format. 3 copies of Force of Vigor in the main, meaningful disruption in this format. 1 Endurance, the other 3 are in the sideboard, meaningful in this format. 3 copies of Field of the Dead. Also a win condition that gets online very quickly in this deck. Basically, the goal is to just do something just disruptive enough that you get over the line. And whether it's like strip mine them twice and then make a 20/20, or turn 1, make 12 zombies, and hope that they just can't beat that. Tabernacle in the main deck will slow down a lot of bizarre Baghdad strategies. The Duke of Bog has a similar effect. And these Force of Vigors, even the fair decks, kind of rely on artifacts and enchantments in this format. Cutting a couple of Moxes out from someone is the same as wastelanding them twice. A Tinker getting Bolus's Citadel, then you destroy the Citadel before they cast too many cards off it. As soon as you get priority, just make it dead. That could slow somebody down. And the sideboard, pretty obvious in its intention. 4 Mindbreak Trap, you're not losing on turn 1. 4 Pyroblast, slow down those blue decks. 4 Endurance, the one's already in the main. Slow down the graveyard decks. 3 Collector Roof, shut down anyone using artifacts for any value, which is basically all decks in this format. Then a 2nd Tabernacle for the bizarre strategies. You're just trying to punch a hole and walk through it, which is what a lot of this format's trying to do, but we're trying to do it in a pretty unique way, where Flusterstorm, Pyroblast, even Force of Will doesn't line up great. We can, of course, be dumpstered on turn 1 or 2. By the hyper-powerful decks. Any great draw is going to obliterate us. I suspect that the Initiative is probably one of our nightmare matchups. But we can at least see how games could be winnable without a single piece of Power 9. Let's jump into this and see if we can flip this powerful format on its head. I'm on the draw in round 1, and my hand has a 1-mana enchantment and a reload in it. I'm going to keep. Fast Bond is better than Mana Bond in the way that Fast Bond I could play 2 lands, play Mulch, and then continue playing lands for the turn. But Mulch, if I activate my Fast Bond, I have to wait a turn on Mulch. Oh, Force of Vigor, what's up? I could also play Mana Bond, wait a turn, Force of Vigor, they're 2 permanents, shit all my lands into play, but then what am I doing? I'm going to start by seeing if Mana Bond resolves. Mana Bond, bang. If they force this, I think I'm on free and easy mode to... Oh yeah, they did. Force pitching Lorien revealed. Okay. In their upkeep, I'm going to Force of Vigor, they're 2 permanents. And then hope that we're both in the crap long enough that I can make some land drops and win. Force of Vigor, pew pew, pitch the Mulch. I even have Boseiju ready for their next thing. Okay, no permanents. That's where we want most of our opponents. Oh, I drew another Mana Bond, get wrecked, nerd. We know they're out of forces here. Oh wow, they found one? They must have drawn it, because I don't think they let that Force of Vigor resolve if they had a counter for it. But okay. 2 cards in their hand over there. They've pitched Herx and Lorien revealed. Oh, well. Welcome to Vintage. The decks that have power in them get to do stuff like that. And those of us without power in our decks have to wait. They see the Boseiju, but I otherwise have nothing going on here. Time to get Field of the Dead in. That's eventually inevitability. It's going to take a while to matter. But if we're against some blue control Orcish Bowmaster who gives a crap mess, that deck is not going to be able to go over the top in a big way here. Okay, they spent some mana. Dress down. Okay. I mean, I can Boseiju that if they're doing something with it, but I suspect they're just cantripping. Black Lotus. Okay. Are we going to see a Lorien revealed here the hard way? Yeah, we are. Cool. Urza's Saga. I can destroy that when it is convenient for me to do so. I can also get my own Urza Saga off Thespian stage. That actually kind of rules. This deck does not play Urza Saga itself. And I noticed that in the deck the deck building, like, that's just not a thing that we're doing. We could. I did nothing to work on this deck. I have no idea. Wasteland, cool. I'm going to waste their Saga and try to beat them with Saga. But clearly, whoever was working on this deck made the decision that Saga is not where you want to be. You want to be going faster than that. Okay, they tutored up an Underground Sea. At some point, Boseiju will become Sinkhole, but I don't think we're there yet. Okay, another Saga. Oh, I want my Saga to learn how to make constructs. Jukabog, interesting. Okay, just in case you got Dig Through Time or Treasure Cruise or Murktide Regent, let's take a poke at that. Their Saga gets a trigger here. I think I just have to deal with that. There's the sea we know about. End of turn, make a construct. I don't have anything to tutor, which is pretty embarrassing, but like, I'm just not built for that. Ooh, a fast spawn, okay. I'm gonna copy a different land in response, and I want it to be a land with a different name, so I want an Underground Sea here. Ooh, what's going on? Oh, you're making a construct in response. Weird. Okay, and I have nothing to tutor, but this is going to resolve, but then I get to keep my land because it's not a Saga anymore. And I found this Fast Bond, that's cool. Grove of the Burn Willows. Fast Bond. What do you think, opponent? Have you found another force since the last time we talked about this? Okay, Caracas starts making zombies. And I think I have to Boseiju their Saga now. I don't want them to have another construct. Guess I can attack with my construct first and see what they want to do. Okay. Nope, change their mind. All right, cool. In for 1. And I think I just want to hit this thing now before it knows how to do anything else. So now I have an Underground Sea that can make constructs every turn. Every land I play makes a 2/2. And obviously they've drawn, what, like 8, 9 extra cards over me this game. They could just combo off somehow. But, I mean, if their hand's just full of counterspells, we're doing it. Mox Ruby's scary because that unlocks Tinker. as a thing they can do now that the Besage's out of my hand. 5 in the pool, 6 in the pool. Mind's Desire for 3. Okay. This is low, but if it hits a banger, we're in trouble. Won't beseech the mirror. We're dead. Cool. All right. Found the banger. Good job. Demonic Tutor, Jesus. And Lotus Petal. They should be able to figure out how to win from here. I tried, team. Lotus Petal, Storm is 4. Demonic Tutor, this can get Black Lotus or did they Lotus already? I think they did. Yeah, they did. This can get just anything that built Storm. Let's take stock of this game while the opponent figures out how they're going to kill us. We ate 2 Force of Wills with 2 mana bonds. Like, those are just 2 Hymn to Tarax. And then we got to stability and even being ahead and ready to take over when they converted off of their Ancestral Recall, Lorien Reveal, Black Lotus follow-up. And they had to Mind's Desire for 3, and they had to hit bangers, and they did. But we did put them in a really tough spot here, despite basically never having an engine under us. Didn't resolve a mulch, didn't resolve a fast spawn until last turn. It's turn 8 in a Vintage game. And I have a steady win con here, just getting Vintaged over the top of it. Obviously, we're losing, but I am kind of impressed at how it felt like we didn't do anything that game, but it went an 8-turn game where we were ahead until their Mind's Desire spiked the nuts. They've been resolving this Demonic Tutor freaking forever. Maybe they'll punt this somehow, but I feel like Beseech the Mirror waiting still just makes it impossible to mess this up. We'll find out whenever they're done resolving their spell. Okay, in the tank for thousands of years came out with Dark Ritual. Yeah, you beseech for Yogg-Will, you have a clean Tendrils line. Hey, they figured it out. I don't need to keep watching this. Alrighty. The Mindbreak Traps come in, the Red Blasts come in, the Collector Roofs come in. I mean, these are all options. Endurance does stuff the Yogg-Will, but I feel like I have to interact way earlier on the chain than that. This is a lot of junk I would like in my deck, honestly. I wonder if there's a universe where you just board out your mana bonds and try to go slow. Obviously, like, this is what we're here to do, but also, if I just go full Hate Bear on their ass, some of the lands are certainly cuttable. We don't need Tabernacle in this matchup. Don't need Maze of Ith in this matchup. Where's that one? It's in here somewhere. There you go. You're out of here. I like the rest of them. Maybe I get a little skittier on Mindbreak Trap. I have my Fast Bonds, which is the better mana bond. I still have 4 of my 7 mulches in the deck, but now I can interact kind of meaningfully. My green count is still high for Force of Vigor. Collector Oof, I feel would dumpster this deck. Oh, I boarded too many. I get one of these cards back? That's lucky. Do I want a mulch back or a mana bond back? Probably a mulch. Yeah, now I have way more spells in my deck, so mana bond sucks. That makes sense. I could also go extra Mindbreak Trap on this and leave a mulch out. Okay. With the massive shift of lands out, spells in, I can keep this hand with Life from the Loam and multiple crop rotations. Forest, go. Yeah, I'll finish that thought. If I'm boarding in like 10 or 12 spells, cutting the mana bonds and mulches, which rely on the deck being mostly lands, boarding those out makes sense. Maybe this sideboard plan fundamentally doesn't make sense, but I think based on how fast their deck could potentially be, like they're a Beseech the Mirror combo deck with... Oh, okay. Well, that's horrifying. They're a Beseech the Mirror combo deck with turn 1 potential. God damn it. All right. Well, my plan was to Beseiju this next turn. Is there anything in my deck that stops this? Where's my deck? Where did it go? No, we're just getting turn 1'd. They are doing it off of a Mana Crypt, so I could try to mess up their lands. Yeah, I think I just have to crop rotation for Wasteland and hope Mana Crypt kills them. Yep, getting turn 1'd in Vintage. Guess what? Maybe I should add all my Mindbreak Traps in. I shaved on that one because I was like, last game took 8 turns. Maybe I'll have time to work around it. I was ready to crop rotate into a Red Source and Pyroblast and Ancestral Recall or a Tinker this turn, but just going straight for the W on only black mana and non-blue spells. Okay. After a long tank that resolved, I'm going to get Wasteland and just try to ride this Mana Crypt to victory. And I'm going to use the rarely no possible play yield all option on Magic Online. I can't do anything. And go ahead. Mana Crypt, take the wheel. They won their first flip. We're in trouble. I'm going to edit out a lot of this, but let's just assume that they are using their mana every turn to do stuff. That Urza Saga is a problem. They immediately just have a win con. Let's see if they have mana to activate the Urza Saga and to take an extra turn. Okay, they use the Urza Saga to take the extra turn. Okay. That's not a construct. And I'm really not just being petty here. This is like a known vintage thing of if your opponent goes infinite turns with a Mana Crypt in play, many powered wizards have died to this. Now I don't think it's possible to lose, because they could just make a construct now, tutor a Mox, and then they're hitting me for 5 every turn, and they're losing 1.5 every turn on average. Okay. Yeah, they figured it out. We're good. Had to take my shot there, but yeah, turn 1 using 0 blue spells into my Pyroblast. I could have had in more Mindbreak traps. Maybe I just blew it. I thought I was being clever. Just had to find a cut somewhere. But this hand just doesn't work against Collector Roof. If I get even one turn, the Viseiju is in hand. You can see how this would be appealing. On to the next round, though. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the play for round 2 with kind of too much mana bond stuff. I think I'm going to keep it, but I really wish one of these 3 fast bond effects was a mulch instead. From here, any mulch is good. Life from the Loam's good. Crop rotation's good. Life from the Loam could get a strip lock going. My plan is to fast bond and then play Stomping Ground Strip Mine, and then I can hold up Viseiju or Strip Mine depending on what's more useful for the turn. Taiga, fast bond. Opponent's on 5 over there. Shock in Stomping Ground, or Bolt in Stomping Ground with fast bond's help. Zap in Strip Mine, and I'll pass here. Alright, deck. Mulch. Life from the Loam. Hook it up. Payoff spell. This is exactly the spot, though, that I didn't like about the Legacy version of this deck, where it's like, are you going to mulligan a hand that has redundant engines because it doesn't have a reload? Or, like, at some point, I end up on, like, 5 cards with no engine? And at what point do you have faith in the deck? To draw an engine when you're on 5 cards, or to draw a reload when you kept 7? Your opponent saw that I have Viseiju, and they're still playing cards here. Oh, it's Oops All Spells? Great. Ancestral Recall, that's pretty good. If this is Oops All Spells, though, this Viseiju is probably just Disenchant. Or Sinkhole. Let's find out. I'm going to zap their Chrome Mox in the end step with Viseiju. I don't expect a search here. No, cool, we did it. Life from the Loam. Oh, crop rotation, what's up? What do you do? You represent Bajuka Bog. But I'm just going to strip mine their thing. Mana Denial is my best line here. Might as well put one of these mana bonds into play too. Or no, maybe that's not even true because I play Force of Vigor in my deck. Maybe that's better as a green card. So I didn't play a land last turn. They should read that it's a spell in my hand. Mox Pearl. Come on, Mulch. Yeah, Mulch. We did it. Reload. Just a Wasteland. Fucking A. And I'll still take it, but come on, deck. Didn't even mill over a Life from the Loam in the 75% miss on that Mulch. All right, let's keep the spells coming. Fast bond, that's not what I meant. Deck's a wise guy today. But we are doing the thing that I talked about where it's like, I have destroyed 3 of their mana sources, and I'm not really playing, but neither are they, which is a position that eventually favors me. Jeez. All right, I'm losing my mind. They call me Dr. Runbads in these streets. Opponent's on 7 cards in their hand. A land. I didn't know I played any of those. Okay, opponent's going to have to either do something or start going to clean up. They had a Mox Emerald. Windswept Heath, cool. I'll play that, and I'm not going to fetch it because having a fetch around is really good with Field of the Dead. Right, they're going to clean up. They really just have nothing to do there. Undercity Informer in the graveyard. You have a Maya in play for me. My next land with the crop rotation represents Field of the Dead, though I'd rather save that for Bajuka Bog, if I can help it. They're cleaning up again, another Informer. Alright, that's 2 crop rotations. That means I can beat a counterspell now. I have a feeling that as soon as they find a black source, they're going to present a win condition. Mock Sapphire. Alright, deck. Misty Rainforest, cool. Now I can make a bunch of zombies in the end step if I want to. Okay, they're about to go to clean up. Do I want to make a bunch of zombies? Do I want to make Marit Lage? Do I want to hold up double crop rotation for Bajuka Bog? I'm going to crop rotation. Wow, that just resolved. Should I read that as an F6 or should I continue to chill? I'm going to get Field of the Dead and just make a bunch of zombies. Fetch for Forest. Oh, this Taiga actually doesn't make a zombie. Okay. Then I'll stop. I'm pressuring now. Life from the loam. Oh my goodness. Are we playing the game now? Beseju, Strip Mine, Wasteland back in the hand. Wasteland, Zombo, Strip Mine, Zombo. Back with 2 creatures. I think blue is the color I'm most worried about. Beseju, the Mock Sapphire. No search. Decline the Mana Bond. Okay, stuff's happening. I'm dredging loam. They really got to make a play now. If they've been sculpting, they have to stop. Wow! Okay. Deck showing up, doing its thing. This is Oops All Spells, a deck that is built to schmurder you on turn 1. I think we're going to do the Mana Bond mulch thing again. This just makes the most sense to me, and it's not like this deck really has other modes. Like Fast Bond, Crop Rotation, Life from the Loam, Force of Vigor, all important cards. Maybe Force of Vigor is the worst one here. It's kind of awkward mana denial, whereas everything else just ends the game. Oops All Spells in Vintage can pivot onto Goblin Charbelcher if it's not already in the main deck. So we can't just fend off the graveyard and hope to win. But this looks like a plan to me. Unlike the last opponent where I was like, maybe the game would be long enough to only play 2 Mind Breaks. This is very obviously a matchup where you just need them all. I'm going to keep this hand. It's got 2 Mind Breaks in it. If my opponent either looks at this hand with a probe or takes their time getting set up, like they could just cast 2 spells now and then cast Balustrade Spy plus Dread Return next turn and then never be open to Mind Break Trap, but that does open them up to crop rotation. Okay, looks like they're just firing their shot now. I'm going to Mind Break Trap this, hopefully a Pact of Negation, and then I Mind Break Trap again. No love. Okay. Add the trap. I want to Wasteland them, just stop them from rebuilding. Mana Vault's eventually a win con. Take 1. Pact of Negation would have made this game a lot shorter. Wow, they're good. No, they're like, no, it's fine. I'm out. Sweet. Well, the deck with no power and basically extremely fair game plan just beat one of the most unfair decks that exists in Magic the Gathering. Put that on the scoreboard. Let's go. The Command Tower software by Eminence Gaming is perfect for hosting TCG events. It features easy-to-create event registration for 1v1 and 4-player Swiss structured tournaments. Event management has never been so simple, and it's web-based, so there's no download required. Get access for just $5 at eminence.event/subscribe. I'm on the play in round 3, and my opponent's revealed a Lurrus. So they're probably something relatively fair and grindy. I'm going to keep my hand. I'm going to play the Fast Bond and see if they have anything to say about it. Mental Misstep. That's the best thing you could say about it. This match might get really interesting depending on what flavor of Lurrus they're on, but Lurrus generally means, oh, please strip mine me. Hell yeah. I'm built for this. Lurrus means that you're not tinkering for anything big if you play Tinker at all, so you're probably actually trying to slow the game down to a spot where like drawing a card every turn with Mishra's Bauble means something, which is really slow for a Vintage game. Winding Way, okay. Mana Bond, get in there. They saw the Winding Way, and because of how sorceries work, I can't trigger this Mana Bond if I want to cast this Winding Way, which I do, by the way. Underground Sea Ponder after a super aggressive Strip Mine on turn 1. Did not shuffle Ponder. Bobble. Looking at my top card again. God. Remulch. So And the mulch kind of sucks because that means I'm not going to trigger Mana Bond again, but I am just building up for a someday situation. And them seeing both of these means that they'll know how many of them they need to fight over and be able to sculpt out a plan. They're pretty good baubles to see on. Worst pitching EI. Okay, so there's some kind of medium speed Grixis thing. Scalding Tarn. Where are we going? Brainstorm? Alright, that's not a Dreadhorde Arcanist. I'm not mad about it. Fetching with 4 cards in their hand. They could play Ragavan here. They could Ancestral Recall. There's a Rag. Okay. Alright, deck. Oh, wow. That's really interesting. Do I just slam this in front of Ragavan and skip the mulching? I think I do. Boop. Pitch in now before you can dig through time. And just pass. 1 of Endurance showing up strong. The Monday morning quarterbacks will tell me I could have ambushed Ragavan in combat and that would have been so much cooler, but what if they dig through time in response? What if they Ancestral into Force of Will in response? No thanks. Ooh, are they going to Ancestral me? Oh, Lightning Bolt. Okay, yeah, that's like Ancestraling me, only for cowards. Luckily, there's very few cards in my deck that Ragavan I care about stealing. Okay, 1 card left over there. It's time to do our damn thing, if we can. Mulch. Please, hook it up. Give me some good ones here. Tabernacle Field. Yes, please. All right. Tabernacle Field. I will be triggering. I hit both Taigas and Double Field, so I'm actually pretty far away from the Field of the Dead here. But this rules. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different land names. I'm pretty far away from that. I actually need a Light from the Loam or another Mulch if I want to do anything cool here. I do like the Tabernacle. Squeezing them, though. And Thespian Stage is already a standalone land name, so copying one of their Underground Seas or Volcanic Islands doesn't get me another land. Daddy needs Light from the Loam here. Or Mulch. Keep the spells coming. Either get me for 4 here, Rag triggers. They took a Winding Way? This is an outrage. They can actually cast that if they want to dig for more creatures, I guess. Refill their graveyard. That might be meaningful to them. Wasteland shit. That was a really good draw. They're in top deck mode over there, and they're just like, yeah, Wasteland you. Okay, cool. I'm going to draw Light from the Loam anyway and win the game. They are casting the Winding Way. They named Creature? Oh no, they chose Land. Oh, they get a Wasteland. Okay. Yeah, they just Wastelanded me. They just found another one. Super annoying. Light from the Loam. Light from the Loam. Crop rotation. That's really good against Wasteland specifically. I can get Mazavith here. We'll see when they want to Wasteland me, because they can time this extremely well, or they could not do that. All right, they are timing it well. Ragavan flipped. Wasteland. They have Wasteland. Please use it right away. Cool. Used it on a stage. I can just turn that into a basic, actually. I do still have a basic forest in my deck. And then that saves my crop rotation, too. Forest. Copy forest. Alright, I think I'd rather save the crop rotation if I get to counter the Wasteland for free. Snapcaster Mage. Oh, there's a Time Walk in the graveyard? Yeah, my Winding Way put that there. Gross. Okay, Bajuka Bog here versus... Yeah, I think I'm going to Bajuka Bog. Oh, wait, I could have made Marit Lage in response. My brain is just not even in that zone. Yeah, whoops. That was bad. Caracas also deals with Ragavan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm going to bog them. Yeah, maybe I was just supposed to make Marit Lage in response to the Wasteland on Thespian Stage. Just tutor Dark Depths and make it. Whoops. Okay, if I lose this one, it's my fault. Okay, big money. I don't deserve it, but how about a Light from the Loam? Caracas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Caracas stabilizes against the Rag. I'm not close to triggering these Fields of the Dead, even if I rename the stage something else. This does buy me an entire extra turn on the clock. Though Bowmaster puts me to exactly dead next turn. Lightning Bolt kills me next turn. Bounce the Rag. I take 4. I'm going to copy their Volcanic Island in the end step with stage. Because if I can get into the Field of the Dead on this turn, I'm actually doing pretty good. Laris in hand. Do you even redeploy Rag here? I wouldn't. Okay. Thespian Stage, become Volcanic Island. Okay, lands are good. Spells that aren't Fast Bond or Mana Bond are good. I guess Force of Vigor is not helpful. Fetch land? Light from the Loam. Mulch. Let's go. All right, fire it. Can I win right now? Maze of Ith. Yavimaya. Play Maze of Ith. Make 2 zombies. That stabilizes the board. Yavimaya trigger. Make 2 more zombies. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yavimaya would be number 7. I can make another Field of the Dead right now. And then end step, trigger, Mana Bond, make 3 zombies. I think we might have just gotten over the hump here. Unless they suddenly string together a couple of bolts, which, I mean, the deck has shown me it's capable of doing. But that was a good turn. We're in the middle of match 3, and I haven't looked at a Light from the Loam yet. Like, come on. Or no, I did cast one. I'm going to stop whining. I did see it once. There's a Preordain. Opponent's over there. Digging for lightning bolts. Oh, top. Yikes. There's LaRousse. Another Winding Way. Keep them coming. I'm not going to complain about these nut draws that I've been running lately. Land. 3. Including Dark Depths. Blast Zone. This is good shit. This also means I just get to send the squad in combat here. Because I'm making 9 more zombies in the end step. Oh, I could have bounced Luris for free in the end step. That Caracas was untapped, wasn't it? Loosey-goosey, baby. Yeah, opponent's just spinning their wheels now. Might as well make an actual land drop in case they have some way to suddenly deal with Mana Bond as an instant. I'd hate to just not even get 1 land into play. Pew, 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 pew. And bounce the Luris for good measure. I don't even need to make Marit Lage. They're just dead. Wow! Cool. Took a minute to get online, but that was awesome. A Pyroblast and Endurance are possible items of interest here. Force of Vigor, not real big for this matchup. Endurance, meaningfully interacting with both combat, and they use their graveyard. We've seen Snapcaster and Luris. At the minimum, Dig Through Time is a card we saw. Force of Vigor out, Endurance in is a clean side for side. Tabernacle's not a hammer, but it's not nothing either. Maze of Ith actually really good here. And I haven't changed my land count at all, so Mana Bond, Mulch, Winding Way all still make sense. Yeah, I think I'm going to run it without the Pyroblast. Turn 1 Mana Bond. I will keep. There's Light from the Loam as well. The elusive Light from the Loam. Never been seen in life until now. Hanging out with a Bigfoot in the Pacific Northwest. Volcanic Island. Oh, I like that pass. No Ragavan. Because they've shown me they're a Wasteland deck as well. I can't really just count on... Oh, cool. Now I have a backup. I'm still going to run on Fast Bond first, because this one's better. Alright, Force of Negation, Pitching, Treasure Cruise. Deal. That was like a 4 for 1. Assuming the game goes long enough to cast that Treasure Cruise. Mox Ruby. Are they going to show me a... Well, they can't tinker for anything scary here, because they're a Luris deck. I was going to say, are they going to show me a Tinker Pivot, but I don't really care if they do. Vault Key is the scariest thing you can tinker for with Luris in your deck. Right, they revealed a Ragavan on the Exile, and they had a land in their hand. Okay, so they are going to get a Rag here. There it is. I'm going to lead on Mana Bond and see what they want to say about it. Now I'm in a really interesting spot. I'm just going to play Maze of Ith and pass. If they Wasteland my Maze, it's fine. I'll cast Loam next turn and they get a hit with Raggan in the meantime. I'm not in a hurry to discard this crop rotation, though, to Mana Bond. And this is why Fast Bond is generally a more powerful card. Just being able to control exactly what you want to do with yourself. Wasteland sucks. That's exactly the air quotes worst case scenario that I mentioned a second ago, but it's also still just like fine, whatever. Rag hits, took a Mulch. It's just, opponent's really good at hitting meaningful spells out of my deck that's more than 50% lands. Ancestral Recall, shit, that's a good one. I would like an excuse to use Endurance this turn, pitching crop rotation, then I can fearlessly Loam for the rest of the game. I don't want to just discard these cards because I'm going to have to do it anyway. Preordain. They use their treasure to Preordain, interesting. Like there's a Volcanic Island right there. Dreadhorde Arcanist, okay. Mishra's Bauble. 3 cards left over there. 2 cards left over there. bobbling me. Okay, I'm going to let them draw. Then I'm going to draw, and I'm going to see what's going on here. Okay, I think I'm going to play Misty Rainforest, and then Pitchcast Endurance, deleting this crop rotation. Put that Ancestral Recall back in your deck, please. Now they're bobbling me again, which is fine, because I'm going to shuffle that away right now. Taiga, Life from the Loam, please don't have a Force of Negation again. Okay, we're in there on big mana bond hours. Blammo. 4 lands in play. I don't have 3 mana to activate Blast Zone. And Maze of Ith does not stop Dreadhorde Arcanist from attacking. Just gotta hope they don't have a good thing to flashback by the time they get to combat. The Ancestral's on the bottom of their deck right now. That's the worst one. If this was fast spawn instead, I would have been able to work that Endurance into a mid-combat situation, but we already talked about that. It wasn't there at the time. Preordain. Okay, Dreadhorde does have something to eat here. Top-topped their Preordain. I'm going to let Dreadhorde's trigger resolve before I Maze of Ith. I'm not sure if that matters. I can't think of a thing that I would care about. Like, Stifle? What? Like, nah, I'm good. And then Maze the Rag. They top-bottom the second Preordain. And Thespian Stage kind of interesting here. It could become another Maze of Ith and just stuff the aggression completely. It could become a Blast Zone, which would have 0 counters on it to start, which would take out all their Moxen. And I don't think that's their gate right now, though. In step, I'm going to fetch for Basic Forest. And I think Stage is going to become a Volcanic Island. And I'm going to be dredging Loam for the rest of the game here. Stage, Boseiju, fetch land. Not exactly the spice, but I'll take it. Force of Negation, brutal. Didn't have that last turn. Suddenly came up with one. Okay. I will no longer be dredging Life from the Loam. Not until I find another one. I was hoping to Blast Zone that turn, clear the Rag, and then I could start mazing the Dreadhorde. Even the 1 from the Dreadhorde will add up eventually. Preordain. More food for that guy. Top bottom the Preordain. Now amazing before the Dreadhorde. I'm pretty sure this doesn't matter, but here we go. Bottom Preordain. Finally some good news. They saw a card they didn't like. They can play Lurrus and start bobbling me. Now I think I do need to recopy Maze of Ith. They have 2 real beaters, Lurrus and Ragavan. They get to see my top card. Please tell me it's another Life from the Loam. Hey, copy Maze of Ith. Mulch, 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 mulch. Life from the Loam. Life from the Loam. Yeah, mulch. Always had it. Mulch. Another Force of Negation. That's 4 of those we've seen this game. I guess I bottomed 1, so plausible deniability. Yuck, though. That's a lot of that card to have. There's a shitty little thing you can do on Magic Online, by the way. As Mana Bond, part of the text of that is reveal your hand. And when you reveal on Magic Online, your opponent has to click, look at the cards, okay. So by saying yes to Mana Bond, even though I have no hand, it forces my opponent to like do something. I don't know. I mean, that's not real strategic advice. But if you're in some online vintage challenge against an opponent who's enjoying their clock a little too much, maybe you could get something there. Oh, full money dig through time. I respect that. I guess they exiled 2 cards. And I'm still in just annoying zone here, though. They're attacking me for 1 per turn, even though they do have their draw engine online. They do have Lurrus drawing an extra card. There's Wastelands in their deck somewhere, but they've already made their land drop this turn. Demonic Tutor, yikes. Okay, that's a good card. I did put Ancestral back in there earlier. Black Lotus. Blue, blue, blue in the pool. Time Walk. Uh-oh. Okay, so they're attacking me with all their creatures. Dreadhorde Arcanist currently does not eat food. I'm going to untap Ragavan, and I can decide if I want to stuff Rag twice or stuff Lurrus and Rag each once. I think I want to keep the Rag under control. This ends up taking 1 extra damage, but they get no treasures. Which I don't even know if that matters at this point. Lorien revealed from the top rope. It would be really hard for Dreadhorde Arcanist to flash that back. You'd need 2 Giant Growths. Or 1 Invigorate. Is that a new deck idea? They get Taxian Probe to my empty hand. Strip Mine. Oh no, that's bad news. Going after Blast Zone. Okay. They're still playing a long game. If they were just trying to get the game 1 this turn, they would take the Maze of Ith. They can replay Gitaxian Probe from their graveyard with Arcanist. I like to target myself if I play 2 Gitaxian Probes in a turn. One for you, one for me. Just to show them who's in charge. Generally, if you have Gitaxian Probe twice in a turn, you're winning, so you might as well have some fun with it. Played a Ponder and didn't shuffle it. Rainstorm. They are a Lightning Bolt deck. They could kill me next turn, even through double Maze of Ith. Black Lotus was their play with Luris rather than the Bauble, so that means they have what they want, and they're just going to cast spells now. Alpine Moon, gross. That means my Mazes of Iths are probably going to be sleepy. Oh, Field of the Dead, okay. They're still playing the long game here. Yikes, another DHA. Come on, deck. Big money, big spell. Crop rotation. That's a Marit Lage. Not that I have any real aspirations of making that happen into their fully sculpted hand over there, but, I mean, it's here. I can Maze of Ith one thing and block a different thing with Marit Lage. Thoughtseize, come on! Just trying to have a good time here. Alright, crop rotate that away. Show me the counterspell. Okay. Didn't show me a counterspell. Here's Dark Depths. And this Thoughtseize puts them to 20. That's so funny. They can Ponder and Brainstorm with their Dreadhorde Arcanus. Put me to 4. Okay, Wasteland just beats me anyway. If they time it correctly. Bauble from the graveyard. Here's the attack. Ponder and Brainstorm going to be on the stack in a second here. With the Wasteland in play, I guess I just Maze of Ith, Luris, and Rag. Brainstorm. And I want you all to know, I've been declining my Mana Bond trigger, even though I said the thing about the clock, and now we're actually getting into the spot where they have 5 minutes on their clock to my 15, and we have a game 3 to play. Okay, my shields are currently down for a Wasteland to take out my Maze of Ith. I'm not dead to Lightning Bolt on this board. I am dead to 2 of them. I also would have Brainstorm before I Pondered there, because Ponder can shuffle the Brainstorm, but Brainstorm can't shuffle the Ponder. Unlikely that it matters. They've seen so many cards. Florian Revealed, let's go. I'm really into their deck, honestly. I am not decided at all about Eternal Weekend Vintage. Yeah, they zapped the Thespian stage, which is also a Maze of Ith. Re-Rag. That's interesting. That's a legend. Why would they do that? Weird. Trying to set up their graveyard for something? Yeah, I need a big one here. Big draw? That's not it. Okay, I can concede here. And game 3. Do I want to try to be interacting with them on Pyroblast angles? Like, I just don't think that's correct. Pyroblast hits like Tinkers and Paradoxical Outcomes and blue spells that end the game for me. I don't think I want to be just trying to pick clever spots to mess with their Brainstorms and Ponders. It just doesn't sound right. Therefore, I won't do it. I'm going to keep this hand full of action. It doesn't have an engine card in it. Well, it has Life from the Loam. It doesn't have a bond, mana bond, or otherwise. But I've been pretty good at drawing those in mid-game situations. Maybe I'll lean into that here. Gitaxian Probe, have a look. It's juicy. A lot of green cards. And the Boseiju, that's not a green card, but is literally green colored. It looks nice. Underground Sea, that doesn't cast Ragavan. Does cast Thoughtseize, okay. Have a look. You've already seen it, but look again. Taking the crop rotation, that's fine. Whoa, baby. How far can we go here? I'm going to fetch Forest and play Fast Bond and ask my opponent if they have Mental Misstep ready. And they could force it too. But, okay. Alright, alright. That was about to be very exciting. But I did flesh out a Force against this hand full of spells that I would rather resolve than get countered. Force Pitch Brainstorm, you only get one of those in this format. Ponder, you only get one of those too. Only one Gitaxian Probe. Lots of restricted cards being observed here. And because they know about the Loam in my hand, just cracking off a Wasteland here, not a great idea. Unless they have it backed by another Force of Negation. That Ponder shuffled. There's Wasteland. Do you want to take this ride with me? Does not appear to be the case. Okay. They know about Winding Way. They don't know about Mulch. I could just cast Endurance right now. Endurance could run into double Wasteland, and then I just can't even cast Life from the Loam. But I think I'm just going to face up this Endurance right now. That stuffs any aggression they might try to get going my way, and it actually gives me a reasonable way to clap them back. Like, they can't just double Wasteland Wasteman? Who's Wasteman? Awful Avenger, Wasteman? They can't just wasteland me down to 1 permanent and take beats from Endurance forever. They tutored a Volk with Lorien revealed. Alpine Moon, sure. That's not even that big of a deal right now. I'll take the mana fixing. Thespian Stage. Cool. I can also blast zone that Alpine Moon when it is convenient for me to do so. Alright, Winding Way. Start there. Lands, please. Thespian Stage, Field of the Dead. Okay. Well, I did draw a Thespian Stage. Good job, opponent. Thespian Stage and Life from the Loam target this Misty. They know about one Loam. They don't know about the other. If I could get a Force Negation on this, oh, baby! Yes! That's what I want from the world. That's one of those plays, like forcing lands turn 1 Mox Diamond, or Storms turn 1 Chrome Mox. It's like, you're a genius if this works, but if they have a second one, you feel like such a dipshit. It's possible that with 90 seconds on their clock, I'm not supposed to attack with Endurance. Like, this opens up Dashed Ragavan, which could get something going for them. Lurrus in hand, sure. Fast Bond off the top. You have a Maya Cradle of Growth. Okay. I'm going to start with a Mulch. Probably should be tapping Blast Zone. Alright, dumped a Loam into the graveyard. They're already probably not having a good time with that information. But I had one anyway. Right, they showed me they didn't have Rag. I'm just going to bash here. I suspect that Besageing Alpine Moon will help them more than it hurts them. Not really using this Thespian Stage for anything. They're at 60 seconds on their clock, and 3 hits from Endurance to death. Ancestral Recall. Yeah, get something going here. Good luck. Wastelanding my Field of the Dead. Tight. Fetching with Misty Rainforest. Ancestral Recall. Cool. Mishra's Wobble. Okay. 35 seconds on their clock. I don't think they could win this game even if I stop taking game actions at this point. Not that that's, like, useful for Eternal Weekend, because you're going to have a shared clock in paper play. Just saying. And I'm not going to Dredge Loam, because my hand already has one of those in it. Which should be deeply concerning to my opponent. Okay, Endurance puts you to 5. And I can Besage you something, and then also re-Endurance. Kind of hoping they invest in the Lurrus, and I'm able to stuff their graveyard in response. These lands don't even cast Lurrus. Thoughtseize. That leaves you dead on board to the face-up Endurance, and then I have a surprise second one. Take your graveyard again. We got the GGs. Yeah, they're just out of time. Okay. I feel like I'm ahead and actually winning this game on just normal axes as well, but they totally ran out of time with just under 13 minutes still on my clock. These Fair Xerox decks take a long time to win. Basically, every variant of them just wins very slowly over many turns, especially on Moto, where you have to actually click all your Dreadhorde Arcanus and click your Mishra's Baubles and stuff. It eats up the clock pretty quick. These decks are really good, though. I have played a couple on the channel if you want to go check those out. On to the next one. You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7 Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7 Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7 Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better. I'm on the play in round number 4 with quite a good start. I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to go land Fast Bond. Unfortunately, no second green source to really make this hand shred through the deck on turn 1. If I had a second green source, I would actually even think about leading on Mana Bond in case they do counter it. But I really want Fast Bond going and not Mana Bond. Okay, cool, it resolved. Nothing to worry about. Okay, gonna pass here and try to just go off next turn. Uh-oh, we got it's done like this smiley face in the chat. Oh no, it's the mirror match, and we are gonna die in turn 1. Okay. Opponent has a depths in the mirror match. Thespian Stage. So I gotta find Karakas here. Or Mazavith. Okay, Re-Beseju, so they had to Legend Rule. If I had enough mana, Blast Zoning Fast Bond in response to one of the damage triggers would actually stop this line. But I don't. Just gonna have to let it run. Mazavith doesn't make mana. Okay. We're gonna rotate the Mazavith into what? Yavimaya? Or are you gonna pivot onto wastelanding me out? This resolves. Yavimaya helps me too. Okay. They got one card left in hand. They're making their homie now before I can copy their Marit Lage, or their Dark Depths, or before I can wasteland them. And they're passing with one card left. Okay. I have quite a few looks here at Caracas, or it's too late for Beseju. Okay. A Caracas or Mazavith. Mulch. Show me the goods. Dark Depths. Oh, I can just make my own. Sweet. See you in the red zone. Okay, I'm just going to make it now for all the same reasons. Get a quick screenshot for the socials. They said they got outs. I also have outs. I have Life from the Loam ready to start shredding next turn. I can present multiple... I can present a Marit Lage every turn. Not that that matters. It's kind of a race to Caracas here, or to get a Field of the Dead going behind the Marit Lages. Okay. Taiga, Life from the Loam, target all my stuff. I'm loaming. That's a big advantage I have here. I'm going to play Mana Bond. And then just machine gun out the squad here. Oh, I took a damage I didn't need to take. I guess trusting in Mana Bond there is probably better. And I think I actually decline this ability, because if I find Field of the Dead, that's my out. Though now I lose to Caracas because I can't make it Dark Depths in response. Shit, I should have put the Dark Depths in. Uh-oh. I don't like that I left my shields down in a position where I'm favored. I have Loam and they don't. Yeah, I just got too clever there. Strip mine, okay. Dredging Loam, forever. There's that Field of the Dead. What's up, homie? Okay, Wooded Foothills, fetch. Get my Stomping Ground into play, tapped. Life from the Loam, target two things, and I'm gonna dump all these in at the same time. Bang! Alrighty. Elvish Reclaimer, wow, they're a different deck than me, that's for sure. End step, fetch, get myself another Zombo. I should have copied Field, damn it. Wasted a zombie there. Alright, better late than never. Copy my Field of the Dead. They have a strip mine over there if they want to slow this down. But I have Loam. It's all coming back. Doesn't matter. Dredge Loam. Wasteland, Yavimaya, Wooded Foothills. Field of the Dead, Wasteland, Wooded Foothills still has a target left in the deck. Do I start sending now? I can get 4 damage across. Yeah, might as well. I think my plan is to... Oh, right, Mazavith. I can get 2 damage across. Still good. It's non-zero. I think my plan here is to wasteland their Yavimaya and then dump all the lands from my hand. Or I'm doing this all in the end step, so here we go. Mana Bond doesn't say they come into play tapped or anything, so Mana Bond trigger. And I'm going to continue doing stuff in my end step. Here they are. Gajillions of zombie triggers. And then still in the end step, I'm going to wasteland Yavimaya. That takes them off green mana. And I'm going to Blast Zone, which kills Reclaimer and their Fast Bond. And it kills my Mana Bond and Fast Bond too, but I think I'm done with those. I'm going to fetch real quick. Get my last Forest. And then 1, 2, 3. Bang, Blast Zone. Destroy Reclaimer, destroy Fast Bond. You're dead on board. You have to get through 2 Marit Lages to kill me. If they draw Caracas right now... Oh no, they did it! Oh no! That was the one out they could have, because now if I try to make Marit Lage, they strip mine it. Jesus, I was so much better set up in this game than them. All card drawing contest in your non-blue decks. Boring. I guess if I wasteland their strip mine, I can still do this. Like if I don't go after Yavimaya. Sucks. Alright. Whatever. Nice draw. Okay, on to game 2. That was some horse shit. They would have done that 100 years ago if it was available. They obviously just drew it. Okay. How do I fight this matchup? Probably Endurance is better than Tabernacle. In Tabernacling, a zombie army out of them is pretty reasonable. Force of Vigor seems really important. And the Wastelands are important. Caracas is important. Visage is important. I like all the engines. Is Endurance just more important than Force of Vigor in general? Okay, I'm not going to go too crazy here, but I think moving these numbers around makes sense. I'd like to be able to beat up a fast spawn from them. This hand is really slow and doesn't interact in the ways I need it to. Okay, here we go. Keep this one and bottom probably Yavimaya. Or no, I can fast spawn. Maybe it's the Crop Rot. That doesn't seem right. Jeez, I just want every card. Mulliganing sucks. Oh, if I Yavimaya, then I don't have any lands to pick up. Jeez. Oh, I can Verdant Catacombs. I was about to say I could fetch for Basic Forest, rotate that into Yavimaya, and then pick it all up with Life from the Loam, but that's the same as not having crop rotation in my hand. Except that Life from the Loam is better. Okay, so Yavimaya, Basic Forest, Verdant Catacombs, Wasteland, Field of the Dead. That's 5 land names. I think I have to bottom the crop rotation, even though I hate doing that. Opponent said Field is too slow for the testing they did. Did you test top decking Caracas every game? Because you're about to get smoked. Okay, fetch a Basic Forest, play my fast spawn, get Field of the Dead in. They can Force the Vigor in response to these triggers. You kind of have to decide what's important to you. And I guess I will play the Loam. Oh, no, I won't. Because then my Wasteland is down. And I'm not trying to get turn 1 Marit Lage again. Okay, Mox Diamond and Elvish Reclaimer. Their deck's very different than mine. Riftstone Portal in the graveyard. Wasteland from you as well. Please use that. Okay, they're passing with Wasteland up. I'm just going to waste their Wasteland. I have Loam. If they can... Like, if they rotate into something... Oh, they can't rotate now because they just took their thing. Okay. Alright, I am kind of all in on Life from the Loam here, but I do have that card. They'd need Endurance, I guess. Speaking of. Okay, Life from the Loam, question mark. We're in there. Verdant Catacombs, Wasteland, and Yavimaya. I'm just playing everything out because this plays Endurance again. If they go for a Loam, I got them. Exploration, okay. Not in my deck. And I say my deck, I mean Rob's deck. I don't know. Multiple Riftstone Portals. I wonder if they're a Bizarre Baghdad deck. Okay, crop rotation. Probably going to get a Bog to answer Loam. Yep. Okay, they are on that life. And this random shit Tabernacle in play. Okay. I'm going to Endurance in the end step. Clear out their junk. Now their Riftstone Portals are gone. I have to pay for Endurance every turn, but that's fine. Fast spawn number 2. I could waste the Bajuka Bog and leave them on Mox Diamond for mana, but I don't think that's an important squeeze compared to knowing that they have Marit Lage in their deck. Bummer. I blew it. If I save Endurance, it hits the Loam. If I Wasteland the Bog, they don't cast that Loam. Now I'm just flooding out on fast bonds. Good stuff. I'm going to set a stop in their draw step, and then I can see what happens when they dredge their Loam. And they dredged a Riftstone Portal, which means that there's no reason to Wasteland them. Perennial Behemoth, a card I've never seen in my life. On Earth, green, 2/7, you can play lands from your graveyard. Okay. Life from the Loam resolves. And that's pretty cool. I could see, like, endgame combo potential for that. Maze of Ith. Okay, my next differently named land gives me 2 zombies. Because I have a fetch land that's been chilling this whole time. They dredged Loam and hit only Yavimaya and 2 spells. Loam targeting Yavimaya. And then they did not play it. Interesting. Drawing for turn, Winding Way. Okay. Can we get something cooking here? Show me the lands. Okay, they're doing something in response. I get a Thespian Stage and a Misty Rainforest here. Okay, I suspect Boseiju was their response. It's either Boseiju or nothing, and they were messing with me. Let's make a zombie. Let's make another zombie. And go to combat. Attack you. This Wasteland is probably on mess up their Tabernacle duty. It's on make sure I don't get Marit Lage duty until it's on Tabernacle duty. Now they have 2 tabs, but I can end step it like I'm a dredge deck. They had a Yavimaya last turn that they didn't play, and then they floated green-green in response to my Winding Way, and then changed their mind. I don't know what any of that means. Cool. Field of the Dead wins again. Or didn't get top decked out of this time. Good to know it's too slow, though. Endurance actually seems really important, and Force of Vigor. We saw Mox Diamond, which adds more targets to Force of Vigor. But Endurance keeping, and we saw that, whatever that 2/7 was, whatever that was called, that Unearth weirdo. Maybe I should have a Mana Bond and go up in Endurance. Obviously having an engine's important, but we were miles ahead that game and started flooding out. And I'm not trying to play that game. Okay, I have the Raw Dog Caracas if they try to turn 1 me. I can Force of Vigor a fast spawn and multiple Wastelands. I'm actually going to keep this. This might just fail, or it might just completely stuff their whole life. Mox Emerald. Not appearing in my deck. I told you they were a bizarre deck. Pay attention to the signs, folks. There it is. Also, I apologize for my tone. I'm not actually mad at my opponent for drawing Caracas or for telling me how to build the deck. Just making content, being a goofball. Their deck seems awesome. I actually played lands in the Vintage Super League for one of the runs when I was in that league. I'm sure those YouTube videos exist somewhere. This start, we haven't seen either of these cards yet in the match, and this start shows me that they are probably just a genuine full-throated attempt at making lands work in Vintage, which is a thing that people have done. I've played Fast Bond Lands combo on the channel before, go check that out, and that is a very different thing than Unpowered Magic. Fast Bond, okay. I can Force a Vigor if there's an emergency, but I'm kind of worried about their graveyard, and I would like to crop rotation it and Bajuka Bog them. Thespian Stage, that's fine. I'm just going to go to my turn. I'd love to draw either another green card or I don't really want to wasteland them when they have Loam going. I am pretty worried about just being dead. I think I am just going to Bajuka Bog them right now, though. That's some cool stuff in their graveyard. And with Life from the Loam going into the Bazaar, this might be life and death right here. This might be like, if I had a green card, I survive. Having the Caracas in my hand, though, just makes me feel like the cheese factor is low. There it is. They'd have to, like, fling this at me, too, somehow, or give it haste, or suddenly play Time Walk. Because I have the Wasteland and the Caracas. If they make it now, I have the answer. If they don't make it now, I have the answer. Okay. Yeah, just knowing what you need to be worried about in a matchup is frequently half the battle. Boing. You're out of here. Okay, now they don't have any engines going. I have Caracas on the board. Tsar Baghdad, pretty bad card when you're not replacing the cards or using your graveyard somehow. Let's see if they have another Loam right now. That's going to determine the texture of this game. Wasteland, Fast Bond, Force of Vigor, Strip Mine. Okay. They are kind of out of juice over there. I believe it's time to Wasteland their Bazaar. This is just like a free mill dig for a Loam every turn that I'm not really interested in allowing them to have because they're currently just in full top deck mode. And so am I, but at least I have stuff going on. Yep, here we go. Top deck the Bazaar Baghdad. Well done. They get 1, draw 2, discard 2 here to look for Loam. If they hit it, I'm in trouble. As aren't Loams, Crop Rotation Wasteland. 2 important cards at the bin. Get rid of them. Uh-oh, they have something. Green mana in the pool. Crop Rotation. For another Bazaar. Yep. Becoming relentless over there. Still no Loam in the mix. I'd love to draw Endurance. Winding Way, okay. I could Winding Way now, or it can be a green card for Force. Because they don't currently have green sources, they just rotated it away. I'm going to play my Field of the Dead. The big danger here is I'm actually going to wait, because I can just hard cast Force and keep my Winding Way next turn. Bazaring in the upkeep means you get to keep a card. They discard a Crop Rot and Fast Bond. Okay, no Loam. No Loam, no green source. Oh, if I play Yavimaya, shit, I needed to play a green land last turn, because now if I play Yavimaya, they just have a green source. That's how that works. I'm so bad at sequencing these weird decks. Okay, do I want to just do this anyway? I guess I do. I'm going to stop in their draw step. I'm going to let them make decisions before they know they're getting forced. Now with a card in your hand, you should draw before you Bazaar. Unless that card is bad and you want it in the graveyard, or it's loam and you want it in the graveyard. Strip mine. Oh, that's actually perfect. Nice. Oh yeah, they just in their upkeep strip mined my Yavimaya, which means that I can take both of us off green, which is the one thing I was worried about here. Nice. Cool. Okay. Bazaar of Baghdad and no other permanents and top deck mode versus a slow and steady lands game. Crop rotation. I could crop rotate, or I could Winding Way here. Oh, well, crop rotation, because the Dark Depths isn't in play and the Yavimaya is gone, means that I can't make Marit Lage this turn. Winding Way could put loam in the graveyard. That's pretty exciting. I can also just straight up crop rotation for Wasteland and just make sure I never lose. I'm going to do that. They have not activated Bazaar for 2 turns now. Here we go. They found something they liked. Is it a loam? Is it a Riftstone Portal? Is it just time to dig? I do only have the 1 Bajuka Bog. Force of Vigor, Moxime, Exploration discarded. Re-Bazaar. Okay. I'm just not going to activate this crop rotation. Life from the loam. Bum, ba, ba, ba. Okay, it's time to get tricksy. Crop rotate this Bajuka Bog. Oh wait, I don't have enough green to do everything I want to do here. Yeah, it's tough when you only get 1 land drop per turn. Life from the loam. I could just play loam. I could also just play my land, make sure I don't lose. Yeah, I could just play Dark Depths. Alright, I'm just going to play Depths. I did just kind of indicate crop rotation by tapping then untapping that mana. They're going to be in the business of finding Wasteland this turn. Dark Depths Yavimaya, mental misstep. Okay, so they either didn't read crop rotation from my misclick there, or that's not what they're worried about. Okay, what can they do here? I don't know. I'm going to crop rotation away Bajuka Bog. Just make a 20/20. They're Hellbent. Thespian Stage. Okay, GG's. We got the GG's in the chat. Their deck's certainly more powerful than mine, but mine was more stable. Yeah, they're saying in the chat now, 20 cards mill and none of the good stuff. Yeah, remember when I Bajuka Bogged you on turn 1? Here's your good stuff. Remember this? That was a strategic decision. Okay, on to, what is this, the final round? Was that round 4? It was. We're 3-1. Good record. Let's finish this out. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop, and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. I'm on the play in the final round. Positive record locked, playing for a bread and butter 4-1. I'm going to keep this. The double mana bond actually kind of rules here, because if they fight over the first one, I get the second one, and then we're doing it. I just realized I have mismatching Yavimayas in this deck. Ugh. Way to tilt me off right before the final round. Gross. Forest, mana bond. That just stuck. Cool. Alright, does that mean we're dead on turn 1, or does that mean you're a Bazaar deck? What does that mean? Are we going to get workshopped out of here? We are getting workshopped out of here. Automaton. How far can you follow this up? If they have a sphere, that's actually really annoying, because I have 2 copies of a legendary land. I would really like to resolve this mulch before they put a sphere into play. Son of a biscuit. There's that. Okay, Force of Vigor is a good draw. Dark Depths is a good draw. Oh, Force of Vigor. Sometimes you just draw your card. I'm going to play Yavimaya, because I don't care about that one getting Wastelanded. Not as much as the other. Thespian Stage. And I don't think I'm going to force yet, because if they play a second sphere, I want to make sure I clear all of them. 2 cards left in the hand. I can get ahead of Patchwork Automaton still. Sphere of Resistance, that's what I'm talking about. That's in. They got 1 card left with Urza Saga chilling in the background and a 5/5 barreling down. End step. Force of Vigor. Target the 2 spheres. This costs 2. Exile redundant mana bond. Pew pew. It might have been better to hit the Saga at this point, but I'm kind of hoping to chain multiple things together, like this Life from the Loam. I guess that doesn't actually help here. Mulch. Hit me with the good stuff. Dark Depths. Besage and Field. Interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This just shits all this stuff into play and puts Loam in the graveyard. Saga's going to get to make at least one token. Okay, end step trigger. Let's go. Thespian stage. I need Field of the Dead to do the thing here. I will keep the untapped Yavimaya. I can make my own Urza Saga if I want. I can make a second Field of the Dead, though that makes it less likely to trigger the first one. Yeah, I probably wanted to leave one of those Sphere of Resistance in play and hit the Urza Saga. I think I punted this game. Your Saga ticks up. Mox Emerald grows your friend. Ancient Tomb, hand empty. No thoughts, hand empty. I'm gonna copy Urza Saga. Because my Loam would have to hit 2 different uniquely named lands. Still gonna do it, but yeah, it didn't even get there. That sucks. Yavimaya Heath. Yeah, not hitting that third land. Now I can't even make zombies. I am actually just dead on board. Disappointing. Yeah, if I hit Urza Saga Sphere instead, that's a whole extra turn I have to figure it out. I messed that one up. I think I want Collector Roofs. I think I want them more than Endurance. Bajuka Bog probably doesn't affect this matchup much. Some shop decks have Crucible Worlds, but I hope I can outmuscle that. Tabernacle is iffy in matchups like this. Sometimes they just like dump a bunch of junk on the back of workshops and they can't actually pay for Tabernacle, but a lot of times they can. I think Field of the Dead is my way out of this game, or out of this match. Okay, here's my plan. Pretty good. This is a turn 1 Marit Lage, or is it turn 2? Okay, Forest, Fast Bond, Taiga, Forest. Yeah, this is not turn 1. I can get the stage, but I can't activate it. Wasteland, disappointing. Oh, they just fired it, cool. Crop Rotation away the depths. Not that this really solves anything. I could float a stage in play. I can get Field of the Dead invested. Yeah, there's really not a land. Like Urza Saga would be the one that I get here. Bizarro Baghdad if I was on my previous opponent's list. I guess I get stage here. That can become a basic if I need to protect it. Maze of Ith. And now we just need a mulch. Another Wasteland, okay. Uh-oh. Whoopsie doodles. That's 2 opponents in this league who have made that mistake. I'm not playing these. I have green cards I can pitch. Workshop. Foundry Inspector. Yeah, time walking my opponent with that Thespian stage might not even be enough. Soul Guide Lantern, gross. Alright, deck, come on. Some action here. Give me a mulch. Alright, thanks for giving me exactly mulch, which I asked for. Whoa, all 4 in the big. Pew 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 pew. Wasteland your Mishra's Workshop. And then I will play out some number of Thespian stages. I think I hold 1 back in case I draw a Field of the Dead. I could have copied Wasteland with one of them before I cracked off the Wasteland. Maybe that's a better way to draw this game out. Sphere of Resistance. That's going to hurt you more than it hurts me at this point. Maze of Ith going to work. End step. I think I want stage to be an Ancient Tomb. It's just a different land name that might also be useful. Boseiju. I can't imagine this deck has a basic in it. Yeah, I'm going to zap the Ancient Tomb. Yeah, didn't think so. Foundry Inspector is keeping them in the game under the Sphere. Soul Guide Lantern. Oh, Delirium Academy, that's a good land. It's funny that I could have a copy of Delirium Academy in my vintage deck right now with my Thespian stages, and it's not even good or useful. Alright, deck. Keep it coming. Keep the good ones coming. Force of Vigor. Alright, I'll take that. I'm going to kill Foundry Inspector and Soul Guide Lantern. I think I should play Thespian stage. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I'm going to continue to hold the stage. The Ancient Tomb, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That gets through the Sphere. Puts Delirium Academy back down to 1, and the Foundry Inspector is gone. And if they want to draw a card with Soul Guide Lantern, they're going to have to spend their 1 mana in their upkeep to do that. Okay, I'm making my move in the upkeep. Force of Vigor, just cast the normal way. Soul Guide Lantern, Foundry Inspector on my targets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does this matter? Do I have to take the 2? 3, 4, 5. I could just leave Ancient Tomb up instead. Yeah, everything that they could Wasteland, like if they want to kill a Thespian stage, they can, I guess is my point here. So I might as well save 2 life in this process. Now they got to decide if they want to clip the Wasteland out of my graveyard and the Beseiju, or actually draw a card. Alright, they're taking the Exile. Inspector's dead. And I'll still take a Loam here. I'm not too picky. Field of the Dead, Dark Depths, Crop Rotation. Got a lot of good draws here. Force of Vigor, someday. For now, I'm just going to pass, though. Drawing a lot of reactive nonsense. That's a lot of mana, all of a sudden. The low G. And that's dead. I think I care enough about this that I'm going to go after it. I actually do have to tap the Ancient Tomb this time because I'm under double tax. And just kill their 2 spheres. Set Academy back down to nothing. Winding Way, okay. Can we find our Winding Way? Name lands. Give it to me. Wasteland, Yavimaya Thespian Stage, and milled another Winding Way. Wasteland, take out one of these Ancient Tombs, and once again, I probably was supposed to Thespian Stage some of those, or one of those Wastelands. Still sandbagging lands, because I want to just win the second I find... Oh no, Golos. That's so good. Alright, here's Golos, causing trouble. Off a Black Lotus suddenly being able to cast spells. Strip Mine. Okay, deck. Right now, it's time to give me a Dark Depths. Just shove it right into play. Dark Depths, Strip Mine, Strip Mine. Okay, I could Strip Mine their Strip Mine. I can Strip Mine their Ancient Tomb. What do I think is actually my problem here? I'm going to go after the Ancient Tomb, because if they Strip Mine me, like I still have Maze of Ith. I can copy any land that I'm worried about here. Maze of Ith has Golos under control. Always has been. I can also copy their Strip Mine with one of my stages. I guess not if they sacrifice it. I could kind of force the action here, though. Thespian Stage, copy Strip Mine. Use it in response, or let me have a Strip Mine. And they really want to save this thing to keep Marit Lage off the board. And if they go after Maze of Ith, I just copy that. Okay, there is nothing to save here, nothing to copy. Yep. Strip Mine is Strip Mine, so that's just dead. Okay, that was cool. Thespian Stage got to be Strip Mine even without becoming Strip Mine. Force of Vigor. Do I want to play Yavimaya? Thespian Stage, I'll play one of those out. Maybe I should have counted better, but I'm going to save the Force of Vigor. I don't want a 1-for-1 when their only mana source is Academy. I feel like I can get some good eats eventually on this Force of Vigor, especially since I'm not taking damage right now. Okay, about damn time. Let's go. Alright, cool. They're just done. I was going to do that before they got to their turn and could play a Wasteland. Alrighty, good stuff. And I believe my same deck goes back in. Collector Roof actually doesn't seem that important for the matchup, but just having a Grizzly Bear in play would have won me that game like 10 turns earlier, even if it didn't shut down anything. Uh-oh. This hand, I think, is pretty bad. No reaction of any kind, no ramp of any kind. I'm dead to Wasteland, I'm dead to Sphere, I'm gonna mulligan. Ooh. I actually like having my Beseiju and Maze of Ith in my opener here. This one is also fair and square, which was my concern about the last one, but it's like fair and square in a way that I don't just lose to a Sphere. Ancient Tomb. Mox Emerald. Sphere of Resistance. Okay, there it is. Mox Pearl. Okay, now I can decide if I want to put them in the squeeze of Wasteland. I think I kind of do. Let's see how they can work under their own sphere, and then I'll make other decisions. Try to do different stuff. Stonecoil Serpent, X equals 1. That's the play. Okay. The answer to are they functioning under their sphere is not really. That fast bond's going to be really good next turn. Ancient Tomb. Boo. Boo. Hey, what's your 3-drop? Please don't be Crucible of Worlds. Nettle Cyst. I mean, that's pretty big too. But none of this beats Maze of Ith. Draw for turn. How do I want to sequence this? I think I play Wasteland, Fetch, Basic Forest, Fast Bond, Strip Mine, ouch, Maze of Ith, ouch, Stomping Ground. Am I going to Beseiju this turn, or am I going to Strip Mine? I'm going to Strip Mine. Okay, if they have a Wasteland right now, take out my Maze of Ith, I'm in some trouble. If they have it, they sandbagged it 2 turns ago very brilliantly, or they just drew it this turn. It looks like they don't have it. And Amaze the 5/5, take 1. and try to get a Winding Way going. Caracas. I think I'd rather leave up Wasteland. Okay, Winding Way. Or I have Boseiju in my hand. Yeah, maybe I should tap the Wasteland. They just showed me they don't have any lands. Lands. Load me up. Oh, 0 for 4. Ugh. And there was a Light from the Loam in there, so we're still doing stuff, but 0 for 4 on that was bad. Okay, don't Wasteland me right now. Mox Ruby. Would have played that if they had it last turn. So we might expect a new spell next turn, but we're pretty confident that they have no spells to play, and that was their draw for the turn. Okay. Dredge Loam. And then I have to play Loam because it's very expensive. Strip Mine, Wasteland, Basic Forest. Basic Forest comes into play. I don't need to play out all these lands. I have a pretty interesting choice here because we have high confidence that they did not have a spell to play last turn, and I don't mind taking one from Stone Coil. I could Boseiju one of these lands or one of these Moxen that I'm quite sure they're not going to tutor up a replacement for. That gets punished if they draw exactly Wasteland from my Maze of Ith. I guess if they draw any land, they're just back into the same position. Yeah, I guess I'd rather just Boseiju the Nettle Cyst and be fully stable. Black Lotus, okay. I'm glad I didn't try to fight their mana. Renettle, okay. That's pretty big, and it can be equipped onto stuff in the future. Okay, I'm gonna, before blocks, Boseiju the Nettle Cyst that's currently bashing me. They found nothing, and untap the Stonecoil Serpent. I'm now completely stable, and I'm looping Boseijus. They can't play Soul Guide Lantern because of their Sphere, if they have that. Dredge this Loam. I can pick up Wasteland, Misty Rainforest, Boseiju. Cool. I'll play Wasteland. I don't need to be taking damage from Fastbond right now. And they scooped it. That's a 4-1 with an unpowered deck. And not just like a deck that exists and we cut the power for worse cards. A intentionally unpowered deck. We got vintaged in round 1, just literally turn 1 in a way that we could interact with, but not the correct way. And I also probably didn't commit to my sideboard plan enough in that match. And then we had a lot of weird games where nobody really did anything for a while, and it felt like we weren't doing anything, but all you got to do is make your land drops and you eventually win somehow, which, like I said in the deck tech, is kind of the point. A lot of vintage decks are not built to function under steady, obnoxious disruption. They're racehorses. If they turn their ankle, they go straight to the dog food factory. And that's kind of what we did to 4 of our 5 opponents this league. Very cool deck, very cool option, especially if you already own Legacy lands cards. The Tabernacles are the obviously giant hurdle to playing this deck anyway. But you could probably borrow 2 Tabernacles from a play group before you could borrow a set of power. If you're looking for a way to be at Eternal Weekend and play Vintage this year, put this on your list of considerations. Rob, thank you for inviting me to play this on the channel. Everyone else, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, check out the sponsors that support the channel, and I'll see you next time.